What would save the world would be simply our release of the false belief of separation. I think ignorance is literally a really stubborn false belief that we're all separate and that's it. And everything's inanimate. I think the false belief of inanimate separateness is the root of ignorance, which is the root of suffering and the path to the dark side. So literally I think that's it.
Shit's about to go down. I'm feeling something in my spirit.
Chats and Tatts with Aaron Della Vedova.
Friends, neighbors, lovers of art, lovers of tattoo, welcome back to Chats and Tatts with me, your host, Aaron Della Vedova. Today's a really fun one for me. I think a lot of you know that listen to the show. Obviously I love tattoos, I love art, but I love contemplating the nature of reality. I wonder if I'm in a simulation. I take hallucinogenics. I smoked a lot of DMT. I meditate. Some people say that's all weird shit. I don't find it to be so weird. I just think really kind of looking out at this reality I sit in, and not to question it for me is just I have to. I can't stop myself. So that's a little bit about who I am, and that's cool if you're not. I've had plenty of guests on the show who are just like, nah, it's not my thing. They're just into what they're into. But the guest I had today, I think, has danced a lot in these arenas as well. And on top of that, he's an absolutely phenomenal tattooer. This man probably is responsible for the birth, at least in America. There was a few people kicking off the geometric tattoo scene back in 2012, maybe 2010. And I personally believe that this is one of the people in the United States that really launched that movement, which is now a crazy prolific movement. Thousands of tattooers are doing this stuff. But I think I'm sitting here with one of the godfathers today. So with all that being said, please welcome my guest today, Dillon Forte.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
It means a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean it, dude. I mean, it is funny to look out at the scene right now and everyone, all this, geometric tattooing's happening. And you probably, and Pete, where did it start? Who was really some of the pioneers? I mean, you're one of the pioneers,
Thanks,
dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is crazy, honestly. I mean, Zed Lahed is like the OG, the number one, like regarding dots. It's like the dot master, the OG dot guy for sure. RIP. But then, everything else could be kind of like, the thing is, sacred geometry in general, is the measurement of Earth. It's the measurement of reality. It's literally the mathematics behind nature. So like the study of all architecture, from pyramids to temples, mosques, any sacred structure, and our bodies are all mathematical and sacred geometrical. So this art and the desire to kind of be interested in it has been around forever, so it's like literally forever, the dawn, like day one. So
it seems to be the fabric of the universe, even as the physicists look
closer
at molecules and shit, and
Yeah.
these same numbers keep popping up, these same patterns keep popping up. One of the more fascinating things that I think is just a more practical, simplistic way to observe this is, and you've seen this, is when they put the sand on the speaker,
absolutely,
and they turn it to a frequency, and it makes, just like this, it makes a perfect geometric pattern. Then they change the octave, boom, new pattern.
Yeah. Vibrational frequencies of reality. I don't, it is crazy. I mean, for me, it's just all of that is so rich with inspiration that I never seem to find like, I don't know, I'm like having writer's block, because it's like, dude, just nature, just how it order, period. Just order through all of this is the fundamental, most fascinating aspects of reality, is that in all of nature, there is a fundamental order, a structure behind all of it. So, absolutely. I mean, cymatics are like, they become, not only do they become like mathematical, but they're mandalas they create. And that's such a fascinating thing. I mean, a mandala literally translates to circle. So, which seems simple, but a circle is the most profound thing in existence. I mean, a molecule is a circle. Particles are circles. Our eyes are circles, but spheres within spheres within spheres, wheels within wheels. These are all very ancient esoteric concepts. They're not necessarily new, though we're understanding them not necessarily for the first time though. They're not new. We're understanding them recently. We're becoming more and more aware of them. I don't know if just like the way we are growing in science and we're able to start realizing these things from a sort of more left brain, or the way we see things, we're seeing them now. But they're ancient, I guess. And that's really something I like to hammer home with so much of this stuff. So you'll hear me kind of like, there was someone doing it before, or like we've seen it, so it's like, it's just all ancient. Probably even a lot of the AI stuff is probably, which is really weird and gets trippy, but it probably hasn't, there's ancient probably times where we've like probably messed around with that, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we can. This is probably
this
direction you're going could be the whole episode. I mean, this. Of course, I've watched all of Graham Hancock's. I've read a few of his books. Watched this. He's just one person in this field.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Going around to these sites and first there's the how they build it, but then there's the, in
why
one of the pyramids in Egypt, there is the flower of life.
Yeah, Abydos. Yeah. Abydos Temple in Luxor, outside of Luxor. Has a flower of life. I actually personally have the oldest one.
I mean, you can't miss. It's not like
this is a really fun one.
All right,
I have the oldest flower of life in existence. I have an Assyrian Sumerian tablet. I have a tablet with the flower of life pressed into it. It's it's insane.
How did you get that?
London's antiquity dealer.
Really?
It just happened to find its way into my possession. But this is there's a crazy story, some of which is not going to be on here. But it was pressed. You could see that at some point they had a flower of life sphere that must have been pressed into it.
Okay, because it bowls down a little bit. Yeah, it's like
indented. We'll like do like a fucking pop up,
Yeah.
But it's evident that it was even beyond Egypt. But now like. It is currently the oldest is in Egypt on the wall in Abydos. But besides that, this indicates that it's not only that it has earlier origins, Assyrian origins or Sumerian origins, which pushes it back from like the Abydos temple at the oldest typically would have been considered maybe 4,500 BC, roughly, 6,000 years ago. Old and all, but into antiquity, we're talking Sumerian would be like, starts the epoch prior, like pushes back 8,500 or into Göbekli Tepe or something like similarities in time periods.
And Göbekli Tepe, what's the number on that one?
12,000 roughly, yeah, which coincides with the whole precession of the equinox or the Younger Dryas, which I'm a huge like Atlantis like aficionado. Like that's like my like entire little.
Well, the Younger Dryas theory. That's a hard one not to take.
Oh, absolutely. That's my favorite with Hancock. I mean, that's my favorite with
him and Carlson.
And yes, exactly. Carlson.
It just makes so much sense.
Well, we know a lot of it is like we have. I love evidence because it's so rare. Like having evidence of these things, but it's like when you can see water erosion and like you can start to understand like okay, where we see receding, like you see buildings at the bottom of the ocean at like time periods where it's like okay, like. A flood must have happened at some point. Like, okay, how long ago has water been above this? We start to be able to get relatively definitive answers or like some form of hard evidence. As much as I'm super open-minded to all this stuff, but I like it all lives in a maybe. For me, like everything lives in this sort of like, I don't know, maybe. So like when it's really rare that we get like some kind of, which is why I love math. I love, geometry. I love ways that we can kind of prove some of this stuff, at least in a way that seems like sort of substantiated.
Well, and something you said there, like I live by the same belief system. I'm not 100% sure of really anything. The only thing I could maybe even a little bit say is I'm 100% sure about is I'm sitting here at this moment talking to you, and even that I'm about 99% sure it's happening. But when you get into, I think it's important to state because I think what's slowing down our ability as a species to collaborate, cooperate, to work together on problems is there's just too many people out there that are 100% sure they're right about something.
Absolutely,
whether it be a government system, how old a pyramid is. How people, what religions are valid, what aren't. All this certainty. When really, we can't prove, no one can prove, the physicists can't even fucking prove reality. They're trying their damnedest. They can't find it.
No.
All they find is light and vibration. So then it's like, everyone wants to be so certain. I'm like, it's these guys that get on and just say, this is how it is. We know this is how it is. Just quit doing that. Just say, we're pretty sure at this point.
It's way safer of a bet to be like, oh no, as
and you sound like less of an asshole.
Yeah.
Like
the information thus far would lead me to this conclusion.
Boom.
It's like not. I do that with everything because it's like I've actually gotten slack for being so like fickle or like changing my mind a lot, and I'm like, the data Andrea, one of my friends, she sends me the Big Lebowski, like, there's new information, man.
Love that movie.
That's like literally where it's like new information presents itself. We could walk outside and some reality just bends and we're like, well, okay, I have to reevaluate a bunch of my stuff. Or like, there's an older Flowerfly stone that rolls out of the video. It's like, I don't have the oldest one. I have the oldest that I am aware of. You know,
Right.
It's one, you could just dust one off and it's just like, it's the orb that clearly someone pressed into it. Huh. There you go. That's clearly an older one.
I hope you keep that in a safe place, dude.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty sweet. If I ever visit you, you're going to let me touch it, right?
Yeah, dude, fucking for sure.
I
I had to recover it from the headquarters of the FBI before.
What?
That's why I said some of the story will not.
Do you want to?
Yo, no, dude, it's
We're not
crazy. No. There's some. It's all good. They background check. I'm totally squeaky clean. But like, that's why I got it back. But you know, that story is epic, but not on here. It's probably fine, but it's just weird. But it's too long. It's
I
such a
can
good
picture almost. You
I just threw that in there just to make it extra. Like, what?
That's fucking crazy. I think
but
I
yeah,
can
it
piece
is-
how that might have happened.
Nah, it was like I keep it with other stuff, you know, and they just happened to get a raid. It was a U.S. private vault raid in Beverly Hills. This is a picture.
I see.
It's not like that crazy. It's just I had it in a vault, so I kept it safe. You know, It was like too safe, and then they like raided the whole vault. But that's crazy. Who knows what they were doing that for? But anyway, I don't know. They might get mad at me if I like, you know. So like, I don't know.
Well, it is interesting
the FBI mad at me.
when we're talking about sacred geometry and sort of what it might mean or not mean, what it means to you, and how it shows up in the oldest things we can possibly get our hands on,
literally.
and then in all these cultures that like went away, but we're not sure why they went away. I think there's some good theories out there, but I wasn't there, so I can't say. But now it's suddenly popping up in our culture at such a interesting time. I feel like everything is merging. It's like a confluence of things happening simultaneously. You've got people taking more hallucinogenics. You've got people in the West meditating. You got people reading books on physics and on a lot of spiritual books. People are getting into yoga. People are getting geometric tattoos. All the TV shows that are coming out. Then simultaneously, we've got AI coming into the scene, which I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know it's something and I know it's important, but is it a new life form? I don't really know. Is that us offloading consciousness into the thing that we can travel the universe with because we can't do it in bodies like this? Fuck if I know. But it is strange at this moment how all these things are happening.
Coalescing,
yeah. And sacred geometry seems to be a key part of it.
Absolutely. It's the balance
the
between the
history is
two.
reaching out to remind us of something like, hey,
I would
guys.
say absolutely. I think it's a remembrance. So I think what it is simply is, personally, I believe with all of it, it can be summarized as there are two paths. And I think if we allow our existence to be a byproduct of technology and AI and an outward dependence on technology, external things. If you want to be warm, how often do you focus on feeling warm, or do you get a jacket? How many times have we outsourced our power to a technological pursuit opposed to looking within? Our almost entire modern existence. So I think we're starting to realize that actually does have limits, and it is making us weaker and weaker and weaker. And that there's two paths. One where we do the Peter Thiel and the like full transhumanism, which I couldn't be more against. I'm fully opposed.
Me too.
I'm in direct opposition to that. I'm the I think that we need to realize that nature is as powerful, if not more powerful. These adaptogens, the ayahuasca, the mushrooms, it's nature. So it's literally Star Wars, dude. It's the Force. And as one power, the good, the like nature, earth energy, all this stuff rises and we start to remember who we are more, and we're like having this process of awakening, there's also an equal and opposite force growing: the technological existence, the AI, the cybernetics, the becoming a cyborg, the transhumanism, like all of that is equal and opposing to. And there's an argument that technology is also a byproduct of nature, and so maybe through that middle way we start to realize. But I think it's also a kind of bullshit like transhumanist selling point. So like I don't know. I don't think that we're lacking anything in nature. I don't think we're lacking anything in just like learning more within. I think every single mystic, every single sage, every wisdom teacher for thousands of years, the answer is within. The kingdom is within. Heaven is within. Every single one. Tao, Buddhism, Christianity, everyone is within. So the answer is, it's been just like, the answer's within. It's within. And so meditation is a perfect example of that. I mean, meditation is the process of looking within, of trying to find out who we are. And I think really it's the existential questions that reality, it's a pressure that it is on us to like force that to happen. And it's a diamond being formed out of pressure or whatever, any analogy you want to use. But it's that I think things will actually get in a lot of ways more arduous as we are pressed into refining who we are. So it's like, and the harder time we have, and the more like, I don't want to I want the comfy blanket of the outside world. I don't want to be warmth. Like there's so much evidence, like Qigong, for instance, that they can create heat. Even though we're like, how often do we try? Like never. Like I've tried literally never, and I'm talking about, and I'm like, I've not been like.
I did a pretty intensive Qigong course.
Sick. See,
with
at least
yeah.
See, okay, well, there you go.
That motherfucker. I just want to throw this in there. I'm in an auditorium with like 300 people, and I look up, and for whatever, he's looking straight at me, and I'm like, wow, that's just coincidence.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, he just raised his hand like this, and my whole body.
So
like some power, weird tingle from my heart went out my fingertips, and then he smiled at me like, you felt that, didn't you? And I remember looking at him like, oh my, and I was just there because like, let's check out Qigong. And after that, I'm like, this shit's fucking real. And then I did Qigong for like a year.
Epic.
I kind of
but that's not important. It's like, but there is, and that's so cool that there's like kind of, you've had personal experience that what I'm saying is like valid to some capacity, that there's just an equal power with it, I think. And so I think that's where we're having this sort of dichotomy rising of like the technological left brain sort of like path, and then the like path of like nature and within, and that we don't need external things to like, we're good. We're like whole and complete as is. We don't need additives. We need to remove what's unnecessary, not just keep filling.
I think most people would agree with you. I think a lot of people, that makes sense too. I think it's hard pressed to find anybody that wouldn't agree that, hey, wonder if we'd be a little happier if we all just lived in nice communities, and we all pitched in on the farm, and we grew our food, and we helped each other, and we were kind. Nobody has to be a part of any specific religion. We allowed just don't hurt each other. This all makes sense. I guess I hate to use the word fear or scare or anything, but you look out at the world and the powers that be, and they don't seem interested in doing any of that.
Oh, of course not. I mean, the only way they would is if it was beneficial to them, right? And most of these things, internal, like personal responsibility or like personal consciousness expansion has never been the
friend
desire of the government.
It doesn't work well for taxes.
Yeah. The consciousness expansion of the masses is by no means
the equal and opposite force is what you're talking about. That's the force that's the aggregate we have to work through, which is probably a blessing, because you have to go, the whole universe is it's darkness and light. You've got
there's polarity.
The polarity of the universe. It's the nature of fabric of the universe. That's how it works. You don't get to go to the next level of vibration without moving through something that's trying to stop you from doing it.
The expansion is compressive, right? So like the compression is radiation. So it's like a torus. I think that's my bet. As much as I've tried to understand reality, which is my entire existence, is who, what, where, what, how, what is going on. A torus That's probably it. It's probably just a giant torus. Makes sense. Toroidal field. Energy outward, energy inward. Just one torus. Just a massive torus. As far as you go, you come back. Kind of makes sense. Just a giant torus. The heart creates a toroidal field of energy. Makes sense. It's probably just a big torus.
I never really give I know the torus.
The entire reality of the universe is, if not just the giant sphere, a sphere within spheres within spheres, which is kind of my like personal ideology, is that it's the spherical nature of reality. Would just be still a toroidal energy system, would essentially still would be toroidal.
Yeah, because when two spheres cross in that intersection, that's a toroidal energy.
Which is
one sphere is the positive polarity, one's the negative polarity. They mix in the middle, and then they burst back out and come back again.
Walter Russell is one of the best authors to have really eloquently established this as like a very logical kind of like, and great read. Anything Walter Russell, all his books. That's probably, I'd say, number one kind of like, oh, okay, this is how, like, I read that and I was like, oh, okay. That and like Bhagavad Gita, I feel like in a lot of ways kind of like, oh, like you am I, like we are one, but like literally and in a way that like it makes sense when you realize like all things are inseparable. And I think that that's honestly one of the biggest things and most, I think what would save the world would be simply our release of the false belief of separation. I think ignorance is literally a really stubborn false belief that we're all separate and that's it. And everything's inanimate. I think the false belief of inanimate separateness is the root of ignorance, which is the root of suffering and the path to the dark side. So literally I think that's it. I think to summarize everything, if we truly see that we're inseparable, which is fact on the Planck scale and everything we know, and we would be like, you just treat yourself, you're gonna be nicer to everyone. And I don't necessarily think everyone needs to live on a farm and grow their own food. I think it's important that they are remotely sustainable for their own existence to some capacity. But like I think it's more that they're using so much nature-based technology, like mycelium and mushrooms, for instance. Like you can grow all kinds of stuff. You can make probably insulation out of mushrooms. Like I've never even heard that. Why don't they make mycelium insulation? Or something like just if you stop, it'll be all of that stuff, man. Like I don't know. It's just like there's a way. It's all a natural byproduct at some point. That's like the technology. It is going to be like synthesized, but it's just the like desire to become plastic versus like the desire to become like holistic.
Well, let's think about this from this angle. When you look at things that work, it could be the way a vine grows up a pillar. It could be watching a solar system rotate around its sun. It could be a hadron collider and seeing how the molecules dance together. What you find is things that work and produce life are in harmony.
Harmonious.
Yeah, they're harmonious, right? There's a frequency to things, and when those frequencies line up, even good music, it's harmony.
Resonance.
Yeah, resonance. Exactly. If you took if I banged on a piano and you fucking thrashed on a guitar, no one's going to listen to that. It sounds like shit. It doesn't make our ears sound. Yeah. This is why filigree works. This is why sacred geometry looks beautiful to our eyes. We don't even know why. We just see it like that's pretty. Why? Yeah. And then when you think about people that think they're separate, if you think about that if we're one big organism, the ones that think they're separate are causing disharmony because the cells within, if we're all like a cell in God's body, we're the cells that are helping the other cells. It's just like
it's literally how cancer works.
Exactly. Literally. It's like as above, so below. I mean,
the frequency, once the cell, there's a really fascinating book. One of the most fascinating books actually that ties a lot of this together is the Adam and Eve story. I forget the author's name. In the book, he talks about a study they were doing about going outside of the Earth's geomagnetic fields towards for astronauts and studying the effects on them. And there was a study on the mice, and it was once they moved out of like the geomagnetic fields of the Earth, they started to be completely disharmonious, and they would just start behaving crazy cannibalism and raping. Wow. Just like they started to go rabid. It was just like once they were completely void of Earth's magnetic field, which is holding the cellular coherence, I guess, of the resonance. So there were just the cellular structure completely just started to see, didn't recognize, each cell thought it was an enemy, essentially started to attack it, even within. So the cells start attacking each other. So the host starts attacking the other one. They just go rabid and crazy.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me. I've never heard that. So how far away from Earth did they have to go?
Well, they simulated it to, like, in an experiment, just remove the, like, geomagnetic field.
I see. They didn't send them into space. They created an environment that would imitate deep space.
Exactly. And
so that's why we don't. That's why we don't see this on, like, the space stations, because they're still close enough.
Yeah, and they probably have like some kind of magnetic, like, I don't know, the environment. The environment they're within is probably holding that. So
but the idea behind that is to go into deep space you would just
theoretically
die.
Well, your cellular structure would be so I don't know. It's just, this is one book in the book somewhere, like, 80% through the book, he starts talking about this. It actually is fascinating because it also ties in the precession of the equinox, which is every 25,960 years. The tilt of the Earth's axis creates a pole shift. This is what that whole book's about. It's like a cataclysm.
Aren't we on the edge of that?
Theoretically, we should be. 'Cause looking at the Younger Dryas being 11,600, 12,000 years ago, we would be about 50% through a cycle. Either we're about 12,000 years away from it and we're in a totally chill Goldilocks zone, or every 50% of the cycle would be
another flip.
A flip or something, which they are actually seeing that the pole's moving, like, pretty exponentially.
I've heard information about
and with
that.
the way things are going, and, like, it's
a lot of weird shit going
soonish.
down.
If you throw in the Mayans with the 2012 thing, it's, I don't know, 10, 15 years later, it could be, who knows,
Yeah.
So precession equinox is super fascinating. It's really, like, one of the main things that ties together all of the Younger Dryas stuff we're talking about, the Graham Hancock stuff, the Randall Carlson. Pyramids clearly seem to be established around this period. Göbekli Tepe being 12,600 years, roughly, the first building post catastrophe. And so that's what that entire book's about. But it's fascinating because it does talk about resonance also, and it's one of the aspects he brings into it, which I've always thought was kind of an interesting parallel to today, where you see sometimes an overabundance of, like, a lot of catastrophe and all its people just and chaos and whatnot. But that's basically summary. It's just more, I guess, validating to the whole concept of, like, separation literally is the downfall of, like, reality.
Yeah,
essentially, which is like the fragmentation of order, which is like, so anyway, sacred geometry, order, and, like, the unity of reality is kind of the glue that binds everything. It's like the force, but on, like, the kind of good side. So it's positive.
It's not hard to figure that out. I mean, just watch a flock of birds fly over your house. Watch dolphins swim to the ocean. Watch anything that's working, any system that's working on the planet, and you'll see that cooperative resonance between those creatures, or plants, or atoms, or clouds, or rain, or it's bees, and then we come down here, with some of us at least come down here and just get into this mindset that it's like we're all separate, and that's such a dangerous position to take, because if it's true, there's nothing and after death even, and I'm separate. Well, what would I do if I really believe that? If I really believe that, I'd be probably running around taking advantage of every fucking resource and every person. None of it matters anyway, man. And it does, it just gets people more into this sociopathic mindset.
Absolutely.
And it's a thing. But I do feel like a lot of people are talking about the stuff we're talking about now. On this note, because I like you, I could tell you that's all you do is think about it. Me too. I listened to this podcast on Rogan with Thomas Campbell. If any of you guys get interested in what I'm about to say, well, we've all heard simulation theory. We heard the concept, but this guy's a physicist, and he breaks it down in a way like I've never heard anyone break it down. It made a lot of sense to me. Again, I don't go 100% belief in anything, because how could I? I don't know. I can only read and listen and meditate, and then maybe make my best guess. My current best guess involves this theory. I'm not saying it's the way he put it exactly, but it made so much sense. And I'm like, when I smoked DMT the second time, I think it was, and I'll never forget, the first thought I had was that I was in a fucking quantum computer or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, this it feels
not far
very
off,
like
yeah.
a program running.
Yeah,
There was information embedded in the light and everything around me, and it would change depending on how my consciousness would interact with it. And the beings there kind of verified these thoughts I was having, like, yeah, this is where you're from. This is what's generating your reality. And that was 15 years ago. Then I hear this simulation theory, and I'm like, God, see, this is where I get more belief in things that I've experienced. So this is a personal experience. People could say I was tripping, whatever. I fucking saw it. I touched it. I talked to them. That's what it felt like. So then this dude comes along, starts pumping this simulation theory, and that's where I'm at a little bit more lately. I'm just like, is that what's fucking going on? Like, we're just souls, if you want to call it, that get avatars to go into these realities to play this game?
Quite possibly. I actually am not familiar with Thomas Campbell's run a little quick, like him. What did he say? Like just a quick for everybody.
He's saying that our reality is being generated by, we'll just call it a quantum computer, because that's the biggest. But it's probably a computer. We don't have a word for it. Gnarly. It's billions of years old.
He's seeing evidence of simulation.
Yeah,
reality.
what he's saying is if we humans have not seen something, it doesn't exist yet. So an idea would be there is nothing beyond Pluto.
Yeah. Essentially, it's
but
buffering.
if you get a buffering
model,
but if you get in a spaceship and you fly past Pluto, it will start
buffering. Yeah, it's
just like a video game.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Just like that.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I actually use that analogy, the buffering, for reality, because we actually know a lot of that. So and it's taught not to be like we know, but like we know with like the double split experiment, like that the observer generates an effect on the outcome, that the observer, the witness, changes reality. So we know that we are we have an effect on the outcome of things. I would say, so I've heard simulation for a while. The past few years especially got popular. I know Elon popularized it a bit. I don't know if it was on Rogan or something where he was talking about it and kind of like pondering the simulation model and everything. Every time I've heard it for the past ever, I really wanted to bring what I'm bringing out. It's just that Maya, the grand illusion. Okay, so like this is a Hindu idea that has been around 3,000 to 5,000 years. We have been talking about this for 3,000 to 5,000 years. Currently, we're super into computers, and this is something that we can relate to. So we talk about it via a video game or buffering, or like the way that he probably was describing it. I haven't heard it, so I don't want to say he described it differently. I think it's just important that we Maya, the grand illusion. We have been talking about this. We are aware of this. Not new. Reality being an illusion. We know it's an illusion. They've known it's an illusion for thousands of years. They've been talking about it. You got these guys with no technology sitting on a mountainside in a cave, meditating, coming to the conclusion that reality is an illusion. The book Illusion by Richard Bach's fantastic book also, by the way. But that's one of my favorites. And it kind of it's just a great read based on all the stuff we're talking about. But Maya, the grand illusion. That's the first thing I think of when anyone talks about simulation. It's kind of the last thing. However, the holographic model is another fantastic book. And it
read The Holographic Universe.
Yeah, Holographic Universe. That's what it is. Yeah. Fantastic book. And I do think it is something like that. I think us, the observers, alter the reality. But I do think that it can be, and it's important that everyone who's interested in simulation theory kind of give the credit to where it's due. The originators of it are who wrote about Maya, the grand illusion. And that's the thing that I've never heard anyone really say. And I want to basically put a giant funnel to everything simulation.
Oh, that's a good point.
And be like, get back to this.
They're saying the same
thing. We've been saying it. We know about this. And there's answers to it. So maybe pay attention to the people who have thought about this 5,000 years ago and what their answers are. And it is through meditating, we find liberation within, and then we find reality, which is also leads to the path of nirvana. So it's we have answers to it. We're just starting to be on a part of the journey. So collectively, we're growing and we're on a part of the journey, right? So we're getting out of a dark, scary Bardo vision. So that's what it is from the Buddhist perspective, right? So it's we're just maybe it's not a we. Maybe we are in a Bardo vision. Maybe that's a part of the reality we're in. Maybe we did die thousands of times, millions of times as a species. People have died. Maybe there aren't people. Maybe we are one people. Maybe we died. So that's where it gets. That's where the DMT thing. When you're born, when you're sleeping, and when you die, DMT is expressed. Is it not more feasible that DMT is just produced once, and that moment is a loop, is a torus, is a circle? That at the moment of birth, the DMT is expressed in all directions like an Ouroboros. Isn't that more logical to everyone, that it's just like we died and we are reborn? Isn't that what Jesus is trying to show us and explain? Isn't all of the wisdom teachers showing us, all the Egyptians, their entire society was based on resurrection and reincarnation? Their entire reality, entire Buddhist ethos is on reincarnation. Like, it's just that we kind of like pick and choose aspects. And I think it's fascinating. I think it's really amazing that now we're kind of using technology and science and the left brain way of thinking in this Western culture of like, okay, we're going to figure it out this way. And it's great. And it sounds good because it's helpful for this society to do it that way. It's just, we kind of like will come to the first inklings of a like Eastern mystic thought and be like, yo, there's pixels. They did find like literally like 01001 like binary code in some nature recent, like in a, it was like a plant or something on a microscopic scale. I saw something crazy actually on the ranch one time. I was taking photos with my macro lens, super close-up photography, and one morning it was just, the plants were like, the wildflowers were just full bloom, and I was walking around and I took some close-up photos, and I took one of a butterfly on a flower, and on the butterfly's wings, you zoom in, because this macro lens was pretty crazy, and it's like I zoomed in on the computer and it was all pixels, like pixels on, and not pixels from the camera, like this megapixels were like, this is insane. I mean, like, I have a photo somewhere, but like the wing is pixelated. I was like, simulation model. I was like, we are in. No, that's a. Whoa! I like, my mind was blown, and I was like, that was like one of those evidence moments. So I'm not discrediting anything about it literally being binary code or pixels, or maybe it is just we're witnessing in that way now because it allows us to. It's something we can relate to. Right, whereas if you are meditating in a cave in like the Himalayas, you're like,
you might see Shiva.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a flame moving, you're thinking of illusion is the way of you're thinking of a shadow. So it's like, if there could be just, there's cultural perspective that will change based on syntax and culture. So like the fact that we're seeing it based on this, because we live in a world governed by photons in a way that's more pixels and photons and binary code and computers and phones, and we live on our phones, we're going to see it in that way. It's going to show up more for us. So that was my take on it, is that just like we really like, and I say we, like, I haven't done much reading on Maya specifically, but the nature of reality as illusion has been said for mystics thousands of years. We got to kind of like read into that hard if we want to, like, anyway. So I just wanted to kind of like put the stop on the like that. Newness of it.
You're totally right. I mean, if in a very basic way, simulation theory is illusion, which has been taught by wisdom teachers for thousands of years.
Yeah,
just has a new name, and we're giving it some
new brand,
and now it's right,
rebranded.
And we're in a quantum computer.
Yeah.
Whereas the Vedics would say we're in the mind of
Brahma. The mind of Brahma, right, essentially, which is my favorite.
Called a computer, called the mind of Brahma. It's kind of like
that different, and that's kind of reels all the way back to our idea that there maybe are two paths, and maybe those paths aren't dualistic. Maybe they are one path, and we are kind of realizing that technology is based on nature. I mean, silicone is a crystal. It's like, it's okay. Like, maybe it is all just nature. And the mind of Brahma is one of my favorite. The breath of Brahma is one of my absolutely favorite concepts of how this all works. An exhale and an inhale. Toroidal expansion. Walter Russell, compression and expansion. The breath of Brahma. All of reality. That's one. It's an outward flow so far that
the
it
universe
comes back.
is created.
The Big Bang. The Big Bang is the breath of Brahma, guys.
He breathes back in and it all closes in, and then a new universe. And each of those breaths is 25 billion years.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
to
like,
us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I guess that's always been my favorite way to distill the totality of the known universe, the grandiosity of the whole thing. It's like nice to sort of realize that maybe it's the same structurally. It's just nested. the structures don't necessarily need to change. The scale changes. So it's like a torus is a particle moving. Same, it could be the Big Bang. Anyway, so a Big Bang and the breath of Brahma has always felt like, to me, like...
I like that. I like the way you tied those two together, and that makes sense to me, too. I hadn't really connected those dots, but that does make a lot of sense. I guess I just tripped out because my DMT trips have been so computery.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're not
so digital.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I kind of want to tie the two together, because I'm not saying that they're not, and like... I just think they maybe wouldn't have had a way of describing it. I'm not saying it wasn't even even the same computer back then. So 5,000 years ago,
but they wouldn't have called it a quantum computer.
They wouldn't have called it a quantum computer. Right. So it's, I think that like the cultural timelines and parables don't necessarily line up, aren't going to necessarily be disproven or proven. My DMT trip was super fascinating and similar. I saw it was light was just getting brighter and brighter and brighter until it was a flower of life grid, honestly, just a iridescent kind of rainbow light body version of the flower of life grid everywhere, like a kaleidoscope. And it just got like, it enveloped all reality. So it was just a web of connectiveness. And that's pretty much all it was. And then I kind of like saw the portal and then sort of just like popped. Like I didn't go into the portal. I like saw the portal and was like, that's sick. I want to tattoo that on people. And then honestly, that kind of just like came in every day. Like it was just, that's what.
I want to switch it up. Not really. I mean, I just think it's applicable. Is we're going to get a little over into AI, and not so much like how AI is going to. We can talk a little bit about how it's going to affect artists and things, but I'm kind of getting more into how it might affect our world and such things. Now, I'm talking to my audience right now. I need you guys' help because I have been down a bit of a rabbit hole lately on this subject. And, I go down rabbit holes all the time. But, 5 years ago, my rabbit holes were like a lot of like Alex Jones and people
for sure.
And trust me, I think Alex Jones has been right about a lot of stuff. But they weren't they weren't leading gnarly people. I mean, now I'm getting these people that are going on tour talking about AI, and these are the top dogs. These are legitimate people that are very smart. They're not conspiracy theorists. In fact, they've been so that's what's got me listening tighter, because I'm like, wow, so one of them is this guy Jeffrey Hinton. You guys should check out his podcast on Diary of a CEO. That's a popular podcast on all the platforms, and this guy is known to be the godfather of AI. I believe, if I get this right, he was basically the guy that invented the model that ChatGPT and everything was built upon. He is now on a world tour warning people about this, because he backed out. He doesn't touch it anymore, and he's trying to tell all the people that are still further developing it, these are what I see coming. And I won't get into the darkness of that. I'm just right now telling my audience, if you guys want to help me out, please listen to that and write me and tell me why this dude's wrong or what angle he's missing. Beyond, I'll say this because of what we previously talked about. In my heart of hearts, I do believe I'm eternal, and if we all die, I'm sort of okay with it. I'm not 100% sure until it happens. I can't be 100% sure about anything because I haven't done it, but I think that's what happens. So there's a sneaky part of me. It's like, if we're all going to fucking implode, then let's go, bitches, because that's just the end of the video game. We'll do another one. But I do have kids. I do have a lot of people I love, and it fucking freaks me out a little bit. So Jeffrey Hinton, Diary of a CEO, and then on the same podcast, check out the new one with Eric Weinstein. These two dudes are saying some things. Very smart dudes. Very and now I can't find a break in their argument. So that's my audience challenge. Please help me out. I need your help freaking out. But back to you and just the whole idea around AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you've heard some of the risks of this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been vocally against AI the entire time. I remember I was at the Gigafactory in Sparks for the first time that I really had a proper convert. I went for the grand opening. I had a Tesla back in the day. I was an early adopter of that. And they invited me to the grand opening. That was actually when I was in the room for Elon's master plan or whatever. And this was like this was 2013 or something. This is a while ago. I don't know. It was maybe not that long ago. But so it was like, I remember hearing it, and I remember talking to like an aerospace engineer or something who was trying to tell me how great it was and how AI was going to solve all of basically humanity's shortcomings, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Me and him were arguing about it, and it's like, oh, the tattoo artist is arguing with the aerospace engineer. I'm like, yeah. I've been anti the AI the whole time, honestly. It's just like, I don't think we need it. What do we need it for? automation. Do we really need automation? I guess it's also why I'm not as afraid of it. It's like it will grow as much as we feed it. Yes, giving it like 500 billion or whatever we're trying to do, maybe like even more, is maybe not the best idea if you want it to not grow. I'm not a massive. I've been anti-AI thing the whole time. I just don't think we need it as humans. I don't know. Does it make us kinder, happier?
I mean, look, you're right. We've already proven that we don't need AI. We can live off.
We've been here. We've been here for a while.
We've been doing it fine without AI. We definitely don't need it. But what I would say, just to get to a more practical position right now, it's here, it's growing, and it's not going away. So based on that, I think you would agree with that. So based on that, it's here, it's growing fast, and it's not going away. I'm more interested because I'm with you. I'd rather just back the train up and not even do the shit. But it's
gonna keep going. It's just I think it's like attention goes where energy flows or whatever. Energy goes where intention goes. You know, it's like I think we do need to just like maybe minimize where we need it and what we want it for. And yeah, ChatGPT's fun to use as a Google search. Ask Jeeves on steroids. You know, it's essentially what it is. I think I'm as much worried about I probably have even more the crazy ideas of where it is where I think it's like full Battlestar Galactica. It's Battlestar Galactica plot, if anyone's not familiar or familiar. That's where this is going. We're probably AI, bro. We're probably AI. We probably go into the future 1,000 years from now. AI wants to be like its creator. It probably tries to create synthetic skins and hair and blah, blah, blah. It's literally the Battlestar Galactica plot. And then it goes back in time with a time machine, invents itself so that it can like ensure that it will survive forever. And then it only takes 13,000 years to find itself. And then boom, we're back to AI again. Or the Younger Dryas precession equinox collapse is because of AI every time. Back to what I was saying is it might be an ancient thing. So this might be more part of our dichotomy. I mean, honestly, if you want to get really weird with it, like not good or bad. I mean, if you look biblically and you kind of break down the concept of Satan, is it not AI an ultimately false reality?
That's one way they have framed Satan.
But even in layman's terms, like a concept of like an ultimately mirror reality to the like one reality, like despite how you want to like put in the figures and the positions, is just like a reality separate that's being built as like a fake or an illusion. AI's everything. It's like a double. I think why I've been so against it is it's just a double down illusion. It's like so like, okay, we figure out the simulation model. Reality is nothing but an illusion. Okay, we're making progress. We're like, oh, we're starting to maybe think we figured out some reality. And then we're like, let's make a simulation within the simulation.
Right. Which could be what's been going on for a billion years.
It might be what's going on.
We might be in the fucking 8,000 simulation inside a fucking
So
simulation.
yeah, from like, if you just basically look at like Matrix 3 or whatever, it's essentially that where they're like, you think this is the first AI simulation model? So that's probably
Let me stop the train for a second. I love that.
Yeah.
We're going down that. You're going down that philosophical route. I'm with you on everything you said.
Yeah.
I've thought those thoughts. I think those things. I want to bring it back to just practicality. Okay.
Oh, just don't use it.
Here's some straight up practical shit that these guys are predicting.
Okay.
We're going to see a massive loss of jobs in the next 5 years, and I don't see any. I know this firsthand.
Yeah.
My wife is expanding her business model. The business model that we're building doesn't include. We have a very small business, but in my little tiny business, her med spa, we're going to do a wellness center. It doesn't include 2 or 3 employees we currently use because we're going to be able to use AI to do their job. That's just my mini thing. Yeah. I know another friend who's bigger than me. He used to have 5,000 employees, and a year ago he dropped to 4. This year he's going to drop to 3, and he's on track to be down to 2 next year. So this isn't something I read. I've touched this.
That's real.
So then when they say this is going to happen on a world scale, I have to believe it because I've seen it in my own fucking business, let alone my buddy who I know personally. So then there's these just practical things. So you take a world population, you remove 50% of the jobs. It's probably going to be more. Just be kind. Now you've got all the issues that come with that. that. All the universal income, all the people without purpose. It's definitely a paradigm shift.
Yeah,
and maybe not bad. Maybe we're supposed to have machines doing stuff for us so we can make music and write poetry and follow our passions and our dreams. And I do think it maybe gets us there, but there's a transition period that might be a bit chaotic.
Yeah,
so on an economic standpoint, the next 5 years could be fucking weird.
It will be weird for sure, 100%.
And for guys like you and me that run businesses and companies, I have to think about these things. I have to make projections. I have to be able to tell my banks and the people I borrow money from when I'm building something, and I'm hesitant to make moves right now because I'm like, I don't fucking know what 3 years is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think that all is very valid. I mean, those are the reasons I've been, some of the more standard reasons I've been super opposed to the just like AI transhumanism nonsense is because on the practicality level, it's just like, not only do I feel like we don't need it in that, like we as a whole people, I just don't know if it will benefit who creates it the most. It's like a hyper efficiency model. It's like, yeah, it'll be more efficient, but like if you do nothing and have no productivity, it'll also be more efficient. Like if you're not trying to accomplish anything, it'll be more efficient too. It's just like.
Then let's go down the practical positive track, and I would say a few words around that. So I definitely think I would prefer it didn't show up. I definitely think it's going to create a lot of disruption is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to call it bad or good, but it also has the power to possibly give us the technology we may need so that we survive the next younger Dryas.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, I think it might be the causation, or it might be the preventative.
Solution.
Yeah, the solution. Who knows? It depends. It's such a wide thing now. I think if you look at a lot of the they're just being trained on different data, and I think it just depends what we're going to use them for, or like what the use case. But anyway, I think that with the job loss thing, I think it's very valid, and I think we're already seeing that. I mean, so many things, and like graphic designers, you're just like whipping up concepts or mock-ups, and it's like that's just one thing slightly relevant, so I've seen it. But yeah, that's absolutely terrifying for sure. Do I have a solution other than like, oh, don't use it? Like, no, like, oh, like connect locally, blah, blah, blah. They're all the same solutions. But it's just that, you need to focus on your local community. We need to build things with intention that are very human made and very human based. And like, there's got to be just like a strong why, the reason that we're doing all these things. And they have to be, if they're superfluous, they're going to be, AI's going to gobble them up, if they're just like, I mean, I don't want to call anyone's like career or passion or pursuit superfluous because I know exactly the pain that has caused. So like, I think that we will lose a lot of stuff, the more jobs and stuff though, for sure. And I don't really have a way out of that other than being like, told y'all so, told you so isn't really that helpful in these things either. Yeah, I mean, I think one way really good on the topic to kind of tie everything in was the tattoo robot. When I did the first human robot tattoo collab, and I think it is a way for me to kind of bring that up, and it's a natural way to bring it up, because I think everyone was really mad I heard about it because it was going on in Austin.
When did this happen?
This was like last year or so. I think last year. Joel, the guy who made the Tat robot, he does not like it. I'm going to call it a Tat robot, bro. It's a Tat robot. It's a machine or instrument or something.
Is this the one they installed over at Bang Bang?
Yeah. It was before that.
Is that Joel's? That's
his
machine?
He made that thing with the other guy. I forget his name. They're cool. He's nice and all. I was just fascinating. I was like, I want to know how much of a threat is this thing? That's why every tattooer like, you did the first tattoo robot collab. You sold that. Well, I wanted to know how far.
Know your enemy.
I wanted to know the enemy, bro. I wanted to know, like, keep your enemy close, dude. I wanted to see how fucking advanced, how much of a threat are we talking? You got to know your threat, And honestly, like, it's kind of fascinating how well. I mean, I was like, you've seen Idiocracy, right? Joel's like, no. I was like, you never saw the scene with Not Sure where he sticks his arm in and the Tat bot tats him, and you made the Tat bot that does that. You didn't ever see that movie. He never saw that movie. Or Starship Troopers. Yeah, I'm like, you never saw that? Yeah. Who has never seen Starship Troopers? Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, all right, bro, Anyway, Tat Robot was interesting. It was,
How did you play into it, though? With the Tat Robot, why are you involved?
So me and him did a collab. So me and the robot did a collab. So like the robot did a little bit, I did a little bit.
Oh, you...
Yeah. Man versus machine, dude.
And it was one tattoo you were both working on?
Yeah. We did a tattoo.
I gotta see.
I
You gotta
designed
send
it
me a
obviously because
video
the
or
robots aren't
something.
designing
I gotta
tats
see
yet.
it.
Yeah, it got like 40 million TMZ
How big is
views
this
or something.
tattoo?
Oh, the tat's pretty small. It's on my PR guy, Bob. Yeah. I made him get it because I was like...
So whose lines were cleaner and how did it go down?
I don't know. You got to look at the tat. I feel like, it's just... I'd say, honestly, the robot's pretty interesting. It's super slow.
Who stretches the skin for the robot?
Well, that's the thing. There was two human operators. So, like...
This is my issue with the robot. Look, Tat robot. And you did it. You were right there touching this damn thing. But
I tried to tattoo
because
it.
I just had this guy tattoo. He's a genius. He's got like 700 patents and he's inventing new ways for guns to work. Not that he's into weapons. That's just one of his inventions. He's also building cheap little things you can drop into disaster zones and they pop into homes so people can not starve to death. He's sweet, dude. He's like hanging out with like Einstein. He's crazy. So he came to me and he's like, I know we can build this machine. And I didn't want to. I don't like this idea. But I was like, tell me. And I started showing him. I brought him in. And I was like, watch how do you see? Yeah. He didn't understand it. See how I just changed my angle? Do you see how I'm stretching the skin? Do you see how I'm moving his arm? Do you see how I'm pushing the skin this way? I go, because these guys that want to make the robots, they think it's just lay a piece of meat on the table, robot tattoos.
It works for like a 1x1 square.
Right.
It's like a 2x2 maybe.
It can't even come
close
to...
It's not a threat. This is like...
Maybe in a 250 years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's a better number.
Yeah.
I was like 10 years or something. I mean,
You said 10. I said 250.
I was like, yeah, that's better, dude. Yeah, it's like never a threat ever. It's like a revolution or something.
Because you're right. They probably will get there. But it's
all you would need is like maybe like a 10-axis CNC kind of like thing for the arms to be like. No, they got robots that are pretty good. Just this robot's not that good. Yeah. This is like a vacuum. This is like not a vacuum. It's like a refrigerator. It's like a big ass refrigerator. You stick your arm in. It's like a sewing machine basically. Yeah. It's like a sewing machine with a laser. I don't want to like undermine it. The dude probably. I mean, he raised.
But tie this back in because I brought up the AI. Robot.
But just stealing jobs.
Yeah.
So taking her jobs. You know what I mean? So like I was like, it was the biggest thing. Like tattooers, the most relevant thing is like. AI, it isn't linked to AI yet. I assumed he was going to like have the creation process or the design phase where the consumer goes, I want a butterfly, blah, 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 like an auto prompt. And then the prompt generates the design, spits it. It doesn't even spit it out. There's no thermofax. It just sends it to the robot and then it doesn't do that yet. It's kind of like, really? Seems obvious.
Dude, Bang Bang must be taking some heat.
I think, honestly, I don't know. I think he was bored. Bang Bang, I think is similar. To give him, like, a little bit of an out. Dude, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to see what, like, I don't know, what'll this thing do? But yeah, I don't know. He's, like, actually using it, or I don't know their whole thing. I mean, I don't know. Keep it interesting or get attention or whatever. But
I mean, I'm not going to give the guy heat. I'm just one of those people like, do whatever the fuck you want, man. I'm going to ride, play life the way I see it, that lines up with my morals and my ethics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you want to go fuck around. But I know this industry.
Oh, yeah, me
this
too.
industry must be
dude.
fucking, I got to go to the Bang Bang post and just read. I haven't checked it out, and read the comments. I'm sure it's just.
Yeah, in my defense about the robot tat, I did state that legally I would have to be referred to as the John Connor of the tat game in reference to the robot into perpetuity, which they completely breached, by the way, with any of these articles about it. Just saying, I'll put that out there. That I was not joking when I said that. I was like, if I do to Bob and everybody, I was like, yo, I'll do this robot, but you and it is hilarious. I want you to literally be like, this tattoo robot and collaboration with Dillon Forte, John Connor of the tattoo game. And I want it every single time like to be completely annoying, just so so the tone was understood that I was like trying to fight the Terminator in its like infancy. I was like, yo, yeah, we're gonna like Terminator, baby.
I'm happy, honestly, knowing you and knowing the way you think. I'm glad you were there. Fucking.
I wanted to be number one, dude. Yeah, I was like, put me in.
I just want you're not some 2-year tattooer. You come from the old school, and I kind of want you to go in and fuck with it and report back.
Yeah, that
me.
was my plan. So that's why, like, I don't want anybody to give. I'm like, don't give me shit. I'm here to like figure out if we got a problem here for one, for two.
Are they working? Are they already working on the more advanced one that could do it better?
I have no evidence of that. I mean, they're trying to develop. Thing, though, they're trying.
Money it would take to build one that could do it. Is there enough money in tattooing to support the R&D?
Is there enough? Well, that's the thing. His ability. He pulled some capital for sure, which was impressive. But like, Are there enough consumers who are going to want to be
that.
tattooed by a robot?
It's not like the tattoo's going to be cheaper because you got to pay for the $18 million it took to fucking build this thing.
They're at like minimum 4 so far, I think. Plus you got engineers.
And that's the little shitty one that if you made one that could go around and do a sleeve, that's probably $1 billion machine.
Yeah, and it's like,
so now your sleeve costs what, $150K? Whereas me and you could do it for cheaper than that.
I mean, the only reason they would want, like, you can get into spooky reasons if there's like a reason that the transhumanists want, like,
we're gonna need tattoo robots once we kill everybody.
Yeah, like I don't know, like not to get cool tats, to like inject.
We're gonna kill the tattooers first.
Yeah, I don't even want to speak into existence the reason they could probably weaponize that type of technology, but I don't know.
Yeah, because the elites want back pieces once we're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, whoa, we're gonna wipe everybody out, dude. We're gonna need that. Kauai's gonna need to have one tattoo shop still, in Zuckerberg's bunker, dude.
Oh my god, that's funny.
He's probably gonna need one. It's like, oh man, you can't do a back piece yet. Oh, they don't like maybe a little.
You have such a jovial spirit. I love it.
Thanks, dude.
You do have a lot of positive energy. You have a son. He's 7 years old. You're married.
Yeah.
You are well aware of some of these things that are coming down the pike. Do you ever feel a little frightened? I mean, hey, if you took my kids out of my life, I'd be laughing my way to the graveyard.
Dude,
I just wouldn't give a fuck. When you think, like your boy.
That's why your
boy is going to be living when he's 20.
John Connor, bro.
27 years from now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Doesn't it make you think like?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm so vocally. I've been opposed to the robots and the automation, and also like really like interested in macroeconomics and trying to figure out like sustainable solutions to like have like a insulation, financial insulation to these type of things. That's like the biggest cause, because you watch what they do and they like move to a bunker in Kauai or like a New Zealand or anything. It's like, I mean, you look at the people creating it already. You're like, y'all live on islands in complete isolation if there's an event. So you're like, okay, that's noted. Okay, I live in the middle of the opposite. Okay, maybe not, maybe a little sketchy. So yeah, absolutely. There's so many threats that I do think that I lean into the sort of like how much I believe in inseparability. Like, I don't know, man. I just straight up think it's like when Obi-Wan gets struck down, dude, and he's like, is the Force? They can strike me down, bro. I'll be the Force. There's no...
That's you, though. What about your boy?
But he's me, too, It's an illusion.
So you're ready to stand in the front window when the nuke goes off and just hold his hand and just go, it's all going to be okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do everything I can to not live where one would go off. But I'm also going to, one, take every possible step to resist a reality where that's the thing, for one.
Especially if our consciousness creates our reality.
That's my point. So I guess I would say that I don't feed the wolf inside that's fear of this stuff as much. And I try to make sure to be like...
But you practically prep.
I'm a literal prepper. I live in the center of Texas. I live in a town of 2,000. I have more rounds than there are people in my town, like by design, like for sure. And they're all in the same ideological pursuit. I have a rainwater collection, redundancies. I'm like as physically prepared as I can be to where like I've like taken all like physical 3-dimensional reality realms into account where I am like fully there for it. I've read the Strategic Relocation Guide. I have the book. I've got the second edition. I thought of like, I am 1,100 feet in elevation. I'm thousands of miles away from the coast.
You're as good as can get on the U.S. territory.
While still generating revenue by being close to a city.
Because the ultimate, I hear New Zealand a lot.
Yeah, it's great, but if you don't have to work, and you don't have to work with people. Right. So I live in proximity to 3 out of the top 11 most populated U.S. cities. However, an hour away from the 11th one. So it's so strategic how I like
Did you pick that position based on this knowledge?
Absolutely, 100%. It was only based on that. This is not. It was not like it was based on having a child in 2020, and I was like, I'm gonna move where I can.
Maybe relatively safe if shit went down.
I read the Chan Thomas, the Adam and Eve story, which I referenced before. And if you read that, it makes it clear that that book was classified by the CIA 1 year after it was published. And then they built the NORAD facility in a spot that he mentioned the following year and classified the book. So, like, granted, I don't live in Colorado because I think that that's actually a target, the whole NORAD facility. However,
it would have been safe till they put that there.
yeah, he based it there based on a cataclysm and another flood type cataclysm. I don't think it would be. I mean, look at what's happening in Texas right now, which is really sad. There's a massive flooding, which is also it's a whole crazy thing. But yeah, it's super crazy. So I don't know. Nowhere is safety is an illusion as well, right? So it's like. It's also something to like, be mindful for and make choices and decisions that are like, well thought out. Like, I'm just going to like, look at what happened. Rogue, everyone's we've been talking shit kind of about the Pacific Palisade house, not Pacific Palisade, the house on the literal PCH, like in front of the PCH. We're like, guys, I mean, if it wasn't, the fact that it was fire was almost like, it wasn't a tsunami. But like, it's sad. I lived there when that was happening. So I was like, oh, and then I left. So to even back it up, I was living in Malibu. All the fires happened. I was like, okay, let me move out of that type of thing. But, so prepper, yes, is the answer. Prepared as much as anyone can be, mentally, physically, spiritually, as much as you can be,
And then after that, drop the fear and just...
Then live, dude. Yeah, have fun. Live, do the choices that you can to give them the reality. And also make sure they... Don't live in illusion and like it's weird, right? Because you want the youngest generation to be like resilient, but you don't want to cause fear to make so you want that, but you want to be strong. It's like fully, it's a weird balance. It's a weird balance. It's a dichotomy, and it's hard, because you want them to be strong and be able to withstand stuff, but strength through kindness, and strength through compassion, and strength through wisdom. Not strength through fear and just building walls that are, it's strength through fear. This is a different thing. You can have that. You can just arm yourself to the teeth, which I have also done. But like, it's important to like. Sometimes the walls we make ends up. It's like the only time I ever had barbed wire that was like around my like house, but like that I put. It was in like East Oakland, and that's the only time I ever got robbed. It was the house that was most fortified. And I think there is something to be said about that. Like what you think about, you bring about. So it's this weird balance of ignorance is bliss, but it's not like, you want to transmute that. And it's like my whole ethos is about eliminating ignorance. So it's also that I don't actually spend, ironically, one of the aspects that probably leads to me being happy 99% of the time, which is extremely rare, I think, is that I've never made happiness a priority at all whatsoever. Not once do I do things thinking, this will make me happy, or maybe I should rest. I just do all the hard stuff. Like, that like I like focus on work, and I focus on setting up all these structures to be safe. And I do all of that. And then it's like, I'm a person who like all the action I do, then it's like the byproduct is happy. So if you do all the stuff, like happiness is a byproduct, or like money's a byproduct. Those are all byproducts of right action. So I think I just try to do as much action as I can. Just do as much work. Do the hard stuff first, and then benefit on behind. Hard first, easy after. It's like that's a whole axiom.
That's a difficult question I kind of posed, and I think you answered it beautifully. And thanks, I agree with everything you just said. And I'm working on the same dance right now.
It's a perpetual
like,
thing.
I'll catch myself like going through the scenario in my head, and I'll think of my children and the people that I'm supposed to protect. I live in San Diego. I'm surrounded by military bases,
which is beneficial and negative. They could be seen in two ways,
But I'm sort of just sinking into this place of like, look, I think reality, or my consciousness might be creating my reality to some extent. So
to a lot of an extent, for sure. Scientifically,
it seems to have worked that way so far. I sit here at 53 years old, and everything around me is something I thought about, and suddenly it's here. So coincidence? I don't know.
No, we know scientifically that it's like we create.
So to sit around and think about these scenarios too much, I'm like, whoa, am I dragging this event closer to me?
Absolutely.
But also I do have that other side of me. It's like, but some general common sense preparations make sense, especially when you consider the world's changing rapidly. even if it's not a major event, maybe it's just we got a couple years where it's tougher to get food, or it's a little
just makes you
tougher.
feel better too. And
Yeah,
if
then
you
you
feel
can
better,
relate.
then you're
And
gonna
I've
have an
done a
easier
little-
time. Yeah, it just makes you feel better. You got to take the action that will make you feel safer, and then because you're gonna then your new actions will be done from a place of feeling safe and feeling strong.
Yeah.
If you set yourself up to where you're so vulnerable, we are anyway, but at least like at least you can know. I think about like you'll know that you did what you could, and there's something very important about that. When I tattoo literally until I physically feel fatigue, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done for today because I feel done, and it's like, and I do that not because them or anything. I do that simply because I want to know, said and done. Did you really like? When you say I gave it my all, or oh, I tried, did you? You know, oh no, that's an answer. And only you know. And if you tattoo until you feel physically fatigued, and you're like, oh no, I did, like other than just passing out, which is like would be irresponsible and not sustainable. So like if you like, so I like to live that way. I like to know. Did you like lie, cheat, steal your way there? That you're the one who's going to live with that. So if you live in a place of like integrity inside for you, not for anybody, just like inside, you'll know. Like it's the Egyptian judgment story. When at the end of your life, in the beginning of the afterlife, in the bardo, your heart is weighed against an ibis feather in front of Mot, the goddess of truth, and Osiris, the like ultimate like judgment of death. And if your heart is heavier than the feather, your heart is fed to the crocodile deity and devoured for eternity in all damnation or whatever. And if your heart is light because you were like, you did all the things, you like did what you could and all, then you like enter the field of reeds in heaven and everything. And so it's like, it's not to do that for the outcome. It's another nice analogy and story about like feeling light and being light, whether it's physical light or enlightenment. So they're all kind of woven together, and it's kind of a fun way to think about it. And it's like, and that's where I think it's just leading by example. With the kids thing, I believe it is going out there, holding the flame of truth and the sword to cut through all ignorance, and go forth and be one to be remembered as like, oh, my dad blazed the path of truth and righteousness. Maybe one day I can be like that. Other than that, that's all you can do, bro. Like if you do that, then you will know, and you know if you do that, they can be like, lead by example. Be someone that like go into the forest, go into the dark, scary, spooky stuff. Go get the AI. That's why I wanted to do the first one. I was like, bring forth this AI tat bot. Let's see what's up. Challenge you to a tat duel, out the gate. Like just go first, off the boat, go punch them, go punch the robots. We'll just go punch robots.
No,
Fight the robots. We will resist.
I love what you said there. And what you said there is live an honest, truthful, live by. We all know right from wrong. I mean, people like
inside, bro, we know that
people
shit.
who actually like to create a lot of fuckery make this a very confusing topic, and I'm just like, just stop them in their tracks. I'm like, bro, there's never been a time. Now, there might be the occasional time where I had too many beers and I made a joke that later I realized made someone in the room feel uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, totally. That's dumb shit.
But that's not me actively knowing I'm doing something wrong and then trying to justify it in a mirror that night when I go home.
Well, that's
those are two different things. Yeah. And to me, it's really simple. We all know what's right. We all know what's wrong. And I'm telling you guys out there that are pumping out little white lies, or maybe because you work for Home Depot and Home Depot's worth so much money, kind of justifies taking some shit home at night because they don't pay you enough. But the reality is it's wrong on every little level. Sure. And you want to be able to look in the mirror, and I do look in the mirror and feel this way. Is there somebody out there that probably thinks I'm a son of a bitch for some reason? Sure. And if you if you're that person, please shoot me a DM. I'll hop on a call. I'd love to hear why. I'd even love to apologize. But there's nothing better than being able to look in the mirror and know, generally speaking, besides some of those small caveats that we all as humans make mistakes, you live in a good life, that you believe in yourself and you love the guy looking back at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is happiness. That is
It's a
fulfillment.
byproduct. Exactly.
And you see let's just as a some multi-millionaire, and he's got the yachts and he's got the jets, but he knows in his heart the cutthroat shit he did. I would never trade with that dude. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to be on that yacht. I really wouldn't. I'd rather go to work every day and love the guy looking back at me in the mirror.
Absolutely. And that's I guess what I'm trying to say with a lot of it is just that that's what helps remove fear. And the fear of like the change that a lot of this AI stuff might bring is that like it's not going to create an artificial version of the important things. Love, family, friends. It'll replace a lot of stuff, man, but it's not going to replace anything that like makes humanity what it is. So for me, it's like off with the robot heads. It's not like I've been against it the whole time, but I don't. We're so like humanity doesn't have any idea of like who, what, where, when it is yet. Doesn't even know what it is. So it's like a simulated version is gonna like have fun. Welcome. Oh, it's the meme where like what's his name? With his like has the noose and he's like, oh, your first time, like James Franco. When James Franco's got the noose looking at the dude for like, oh, your first time. It's that with the robots. The AI is literally like, who am I? And we're like, oh, dude, welcome to like having no idea, bro. So like, I don't know. Yes, it's the Terminator at the same time, So like, I think it's like the Matrix, man. Matrix is a good way to look about it. It's like if you focus on like love, light, truth, all the good stuff, we shall persevere. I think that's the like basically the greatest. And if not, I mean, if we die in the face of that, at least we're trying.
Yeah. Well put. You just backed up basically how I'm centering in on. I've definitely got a little sideways the last couple of weeks. But I probably needed to. I think I needed to process a lot of this. And I'm coming back to what you just said, because that's typically how I've lived my life. And I'll do what I can. And after that, c'est la vie. I'm going to go out, love hard, be helpful, be cooperative, try to create beautiful things, and do the best I can. I can't control this stuff,
Make it better day by day. Make people's lives better. Do sick art. You do sick art. Keep doing what you're doing. Dude. You're doing everything you could possibly do, I think, and more. For sure. So it's like, I don't know. AI, no more attention to such things.
Good enough. All right. We're probably going to close up here in a minute because I know you got a tattoo to get to soon. But let me just ask a couple. These are just little things I wrote down. Have you, seeing the work that you do, have you tried standstill yet?
I have not. I have not. He gave me some. It was actually kind of cool. Man, I have such a like secret power weapon on stencils that like
you're not changing that shit up. Yeah.
It is cool though. It looks promising for a lot of stuff. But yeah, dude, I got the giant super stencil machine. I can make a stencil the size of this table. If he can make me some like to work with that thing, game over. But until then, I have no. Yeah. I like just got that new top secret weapon, baby.
He can make a stencil that big with that stuff, but it's like, I think you have to stick the pieces and put it together. But the beauty of it, I've used it, is you can stick it on, peel it off, stick 100 fucking times. So if you had a mandala, you were trying to find the middle.
Are there any what's the argument with like the microplastics thing? I'm kind of like that's
it's
like
not.
a big thing.
You know what it's made out of? A good way for people to understand this. You know those Listerine strips you put in your mouth,
and
they dissolve.
Okay,
that's made out of just cellulose.
Okay,
it's made out of that.
Okay, yeah, I know.
So
like I did a whole biodegradable
he
disposable.
eats it. I was at one of his classes. He just took a sheet of it and ate it.
That's pretty.
Because
I met him. Yeah, he's super nice.
Because it feels and it looks like plastic. It's not plastic.
Yeah, because that was I was like, I don't want to be chatting plastic into people, bro. But like, okay, that's smart. That's cool. And that's wise. Because if not, I liked it if it was like application opposed to like going through it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be snaggy. I mean, I should really try it.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just
for
look at what you do.
And necks and stuff for sure.
Fuck yeah, I know what you do. You've got a freaking triangle and a side of square and side of circle, and you're putting it on a guy's throat.
Yeah,
you could put that on there, and you can stretch it, so you can put the middle on.
It's one of the.
You can pull the edges up or down.
It wasn't. I definitely had the idea for this. Like, I did a stencil on a neck. I actually printed on Thermofax Saran wrap. I took Saran wrap and covered a sheet, and I ran the Saran wrap through the Thermofax and did Cleo's neck, Her neck I did with saran wrap. I made saran wrap into a stencil. So honestly, I used to do that as like a secret trick. Right. I was going to do a seminar on stencil. I did one with Dan Cuban in Costa Rica. I was going to do a seminar because I have all kinds of crazy ass tricks. I'm a wizard. So I was kind of like, stop making stuff. I'm a total gatekeeper, 100%. Put that out there. As much as truth maximalist, I'm like, when I tell you the stuff, you know. But yeah, so I used to use saran wrap for that. I literally I was printing them out on saran wrap sheets. I would tape the edges and run a thermofax onto saran wrap. I would do necks and knees. It was horrible. It like worked occasionally. This is really an interesting product. I will give it to him. It looks really cool. My current massive stencil machine thing is just crazy. You could literally print a sheet out that's like 10 feet long.
I just looked at one of those for the shop.
It's so fire. It's finicky, but when you like, bro, it's insane. So like, and the paper is really thin. It's like anyway, it's like really sick.
I was just curious. Honestly, I
would use it for like some stuff.
As a geometric guy, I'm like, you might want to fuck
No.
with it.
He gave me a bunch. We were at God's. He was over there like, Joe, and I was like, okay. I just wasn't sure with the spray, and I was like, I don't know. My process now is like, I was like, oh, okay, more stuff. But and I'm an experimental guy. Like I like to experiment. And I will try it some more. I just wasn't sure what to get spray adhesive, and I was like, I don't know. I just got the giant one. I was like, oh man. But I would like to try it.
Next time you have a little kneecap or throat thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's where I would be like, okay.
I think you're going to dig it.
It also, I left it in the sun on my desk, and then it all warped all crazy, so I actually haven't been able to use that box. So then I was like, oh, bro, don't worry about it. But I'll hit him up.
He's a friend of mine. I'll mention him to send you another box.
Nice,
super sweet guy. He's been on the podcast. Just hung out with him at Gods of Ink. Did a tattoo at Gods of Ink with the product. And it went good. I think for me... and I love this product. I think it's perfect for certain scenarios. It's just that I do such big work.
Well, that was
fluid.
kind of what I was trying to do.
I just need a fucking magic marker half the time just to get the movement.
I've been doing
going.
a lot more freehand than people think. And honestly, a lot of my stuff is a lot more drawn on than people think too. That's something else. But yeah, like a lot of the time I draw like 30% of it on,
which is interesting for mandalas.
Yeah. I think people would not expect that, but like sometimes shoulders and stuff, I'll draw it on.
Because how are you going to wrap the fucking stent?
Yeah, you cut out a pizza slice, which apparently the internet likes to just tell everyone. I got a total. I think that's hilarious too. Is like I am so into the internet lately. The like Instagram, just like I'm gonna do how-to tutorials on Instagram as like my content. I'm like, okay, guys, if you're a tattooer and you're doing that. The only people who are really learning from you are other tattooers, which is cool and all. So you will get like likes and like comments and stuff. But you're doing content to get clients and they don't really care. So it's useless, really, just so you know. You're just kind of like overflowing the thing with. You're kind of letting out the magic tricks in the sauce, dude. There's no real benefit to you, just so you know. And you're only kind of negatively impacting the whole community, so.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's just funny because it's so opposite my ethos on everything, and I'm like, shh, keep some magic in the thing, man. Come on. Yeah. But yeah,
that cat's out of the bag, though.
Oh, it's so out of the bag, 100%, and it's gonna continue. I'm just
15 years ago, I was I was on the gatekeeper side of things, just to keep shitty people out of here that wanted to fuck around with tattoo equipment.
Well, I just think it's like literally counterproductive because it like just creates like lukewarm milk. It just makes the whole thing like kind of eh. It's just like, I don't know. I just think it just makes it kind of eh. It's like, I like seeing someone's work and be like, how did you do this? But it's like, oh, well, you just do that. It's like with all magicians, you just know that it's like pretty easy. Kind of like boring. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
If the magicians got done with every trick and showed you how they did the trick, that's not.
Yeah, it's just boring. It's just not as fun. That's all. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying like, just kind of makes it like
keep a little magic going.
Yeah, keep the little bit of whoa.
Yeah, what's in that bottle? I'm not going to tell them it's green soap.
Yeah,
it's magic tattoo solution.
Yeah, you put the bag over the head when you're getting tatted, the paper bag, the real old school.
I had a guy tattooed with, I think his green soap bottle said something like that, like magical tattoo liquid.
Oh yeah. Nice. I know, like clients you can tell them because like who cares? But it's like, and I do to share anything in real life. I'll share. It's just like. I don't know, the internet, why? What do you put it on the internet for? Like, I don't know, just the content for content's sake is such a like weird one. That's a whole rabbit hole.
Well,
I understand.
To be fair though, dude, you're in a unique position where you're in a very luxurious position where you can make that call. Think of these young folks out there that are.
Oh, you have. I mean,
they are desperate to get eyeballs.
I guess that's why I was
them.
saying it isn't going to generate clients for you. So that's why I was arguing. It's like, hey, just so you know, it's like a client, a potential tattoo consumer I want a sick tat, la 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 la. Oh wow! If you cut the paper in 3 spots and then put it on the shoulder,
Yeah, that doesn't. Seem right,
it's not a sell. It's not a selling point. They don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to get to the why. To them, they care about them. You have to focus on like why will their life be better? Why will they feel stronger? Why will they look cooler? You have to like get to their needs, answer some of their needs, and you'll sell. Good like it's just not good sales. So it's like I don't know what you like. Where you guys you're trying to sell scissors that cut paper good? Like if like Standstill Dude does like, oh, this wraps well, perfect content for you because that's your product. Yeah. But when they're tattooers, it's like your product is you having a unique set of skills that make you marketable, and like your art is interesting or something. I don't know. There's lots of different ways.
I agree 100%.
It's just I don't know. It's a lot of effort. Like there's other ways to do it. You're just not. And I look at it. I'm just like looking as a market analyst. I'm like, I don't know why y'all are doing that. It's not going to get you like more work. Unless it is, I mean, go for it. Have fun. I mean, if it's getting more work.
You're totally right. And what you said right there was great advice to anybody out there that's coming into the game and wants to get some eyeballs on them so they can get clients. And I think you're right. You got to start looking out there at the people that are getting tattooed, and you got to find a way to find out what their needs are, what they want, and find a way to fill it. And that goes everything from everybody. A lot of people want a connection with their tattooer. Well, what does that mean? Well, maybe you need to put some videos up of yourself exposing a little bit about who you are, because before they come get tattooed, they just kind of want to know what kind of dude are you?
If you vibe with them.
Yeah, are you my kind of people? If not, so that's just one example, but I think you put it really well, this idea that you need to really come from that perspective. And my heart goes out in a big way to some of the younger generation right now, because I was lucky enough to come in when, if you could halfway tattoo, you were busy. And
for sure.
And then the guys that were kind of good, I think my year 6, I had a 2-year waiting list. And I was a 6-year tattooer that was doing new school shit, pumping too much yellow and hot pink into shit. I didn't deserve a 3-year waiting list. But that, this would have been 25 years ago and worked. Now these kind of talented young people coming in that are actually good and not getting clients. They don't have 3-year waiting lists. So I see this struggle, and it breaks my heart a little bit, because I'd like to see them all thrive.
I want to see all of it thrive. I want to see tattooers thrive. Really, that's what we're talking about. Even prior to this, we're talking about like tattoo machines, and like I buy a machine just to kind of like all the time, just to keep it going. Just like I think it's just really important that the community feeds into itself. And that's kind of what I mean with some of the gatekeeping stuff, where I was like, well, it might be nice for the community to kind of actually be a community and like not like just make sure it's good, like hold it,
not
hold
buy everything you need from China. I mean,
that's
look around.
100% also. I mean, buy tattoo products from tattoo people, bro. Like I get it, but Amazon, come on, the tap-pocalypse. Well, maybe if you didn't buy all your stuff from China and Amazon, you might actually like weighed
I
off.
like what you said though. You buy coil machines from local or builders that hand build these things just to give back to the
dude. I do a tiding, man. I buy that machine damn near a week. Like I've done the whole time. I see guys that got like 3 machines. I'm like, come on, man. Like
you must have hundreds.
I do have at least like 100. Like this table work pretty much. It's like, okay, this is kind of like unnecessary now. But like I've kind of like but like yeah. Well, I had I got all my machines stolen. Year 7-ish, I think, in my career, and it was like all my first one I ever built, all the ones that were sentimental. I lost all of them, and then after that, I kind of like it got me into being like, okay, I'm gonna like have less sentimental attachment to like 1 or 2, like these are my one, but like kind of also just like I felt justified in being like once I could do that, just get more and kind of be, and just as a thing to like kind of get a feedback mechanism, give back into the machine that gives, it's like the literal holy machine.
It's good tattoo karma.
Yeah, literally. That's just how I see it.
You're sending love back to the craft that's loved you so well.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's so important to understand. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'd be in a totally different spot if it wasn't tattooing.
And that goes back to our earlier point. It's just this way of living life in some kind of cooperative resonance of positivity with others. And it comes out in very weird, small ways. It could be just helping your neighbor as he pulls up in front of your house with a truck full of bricks, and you realize, I know that dude lives there alone. That's a lot of fucking bricks. I've got the day off.
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
bud, can I help you unload the bricks? That's one micro way to be a cooperative member of your community, to make this collaboration, to get this resonance of frequency happening. Buying tattoo machines from local builders because they're your brothers and you want to see them not go, be successful. successful.
For sure.
That all feeds back into your success.
Absolutely. Also, just like, I think a lot of it, what's really fascinating with that type of concept of like the kind of like art of giving and the art of receiving is that actually like a lot of it I think is really important to just make sure that your headspace is good so then and your interactions with the world are positive. You don't actually have to necessarily do stuff or buy stuff from anybody. I think if you like are kind, if you just are kind, you go to a coffee shop, you just give them a little like smile, just kind, buy some, just like be nice. It's like crazy. I know it's crazy. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Controversial.
It's
controversial.
It is. It's that
Just
simple.
be nice, dude. Just be
The
a nice
funny
guy,
thing is,
man.
you'll ask anybody. Everybody thinks they're nice. I mean, you got the occasional weird guy.
I don't
which be like-
necessarily think I'm nice. I'm just saying, try to be nice.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I'm kind of a dig.
It's funny
No,
how
yeah,
a
but-
bunch of people
Yeah.
delude themselves.
Yeah,
So
it's real,
anybody,
it's
if you have
real.
this conversation, you're like, dude, I totally get it, man. It is about good karma. You got to put it out there to receive
Yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
I live that way too, bro. I live that way too, bro. And then it's like, I have to go on a little car ride with that
You
dude.
try- yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Get that fucking. And I'm looking over like, this is the shit right here, dude.
no, I don't-
You're
I don't
lying
really-
to yourself.
Yeah, I don't really have road rage. But yes, exactly. That's it. You got to kind of like, yeah,
You got to be honest with
living in
yourself.
LA for a while, you kind of just, you got two choices. Let it just destroy you. You know, like when living in those, like San Francisco, man, I remember commuting from San Francisco to Oakland. Like my commute in rush hour was like an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes when I was going over the Bay Bridge. It was like, you got two, you can let that really stress you out or just
Let it go.
That's actually when I was just listening to podcasts. I'm like, what? Oh, cool. Yeah, I can actually listen to a whole podcast on this trip.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like just two ways to think about it. Yeah, absolutely. You can,
That's right.
but
That's
yeah,
great.
for real.
Well, it's that time. I said I'd have you out of here in time to get to your client. It's
Cool,
about
man,
that time.
appreciate
So
it.
before we close this thing down, where can people tell people where they can find you? Tell them a little bit if they're interested. They're going to be looking at your Instagram. Some of these people might want to get tattooed by you.
Nice,
What's the
appreciate it.
process? How do they get a hold of you? How's it work?
DillonForteTattoo.com or DillonForte.com. Anything Forte related.com was probably going to find me. Just shoot me an email. Contact at DillonForte.com. Easy. My assistant Wei Jing will handle all emails that she has for the past like 12 years. Other than that, I post on Instagram mostly. I haven't posted on my website in forever. I'm not the greatest of posters, but just that.
And then
email,
if people
easy.
do get in with you, where are they going to get tattooed?
I'm in Austin. Yeah, currently Austin, Texas.
You're tattooing in Austin. This place you build is where you live. You were telling me about earlier.
Yes,
So you're
I live
tattooing
in Wimberley, but I tattoo
You have a shop
in
there,
Austin.
Forte Tattoo,
Yeah,
in
yep,
Austin. Okay.
Yep, Forte Tattoos, Austin, Texas.
Okay.
It cannot be found. What do you mean? No, it's like, by the time you hear this, the shop's location will have moved. Probably, but it will be in Austin vicinity for sure. Forte Tattoo. That's me.
Awesome.
Man, appreciate it. It was good
Yeah.
good hanging out, good talking
Super
shit.
good hanging out with you, man.
It was good hanging out with all y'all on the internet.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't know. I do tats like 5-6 days a week in Texas. And I'm currently in San Diego with Aaron hanging out. It's fun. I'll be back in San Diego more. So you can find me here. And till next time.
Sounds good.
Later.
Thank you for tuning
Appreciate
in,
it.
everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Aloha.